All right, so today we're going to pull back the curtain on this pretty intense race that's happening right now. It's all about building the next big thing in AI, the super agent. And listen, this isn't just about making chatbots a little bit smarter. We're talking about creating AI that can actually do your work for you. So yeah, let's get right into it.
I mean, just think about this for a second. What if you could give an AI some huge, complicated goal, like, hey, plan my entire family trip to Japan, find the best flights, book the hotels, and even create a personalized travel guide. And then you just go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning, boom, it's all done. That is the dream, right? That's the huge ambition that's fueling this whole push for super agents.
And this quote, I think, just nails it perfectly. It's like having an intern you can leave overnight. See, a super agent isn't supposed to be an assistant that you have to constantly check in on and micromanage. No, the whole idea is that it's an autonomous worker. You give it a job, and you can actually trust it to handle everything from A to Z. Okay, so what is this AI intern really? I mean, what are we talking about here? This is a massive leap beyond the tools we have today. A regular AI might, suggest some steps for you to take. But a super agent, it understands your goal, it creates a whole complex plan to get there, and then this is the key part. It actually goes and does it.
The key phrase to lock onto here is autonomous task execution. A super agent isn't just sitting there, thinking or processing text. It's actively using tools. We're talking web browsers, code editors, databases, the whole shebang. It can manage an entire workflow by itself. Just pause and think about what that really means for a second. This could completely change how industries work by automating these really complex digital jobs that, right now, take a human hours and hours to do.
And this is where the story gets really interesting, because this race to build the first true super agent, it's got this classic David versus Goliath vibe to it. You've got the big, polished industry champion on one side, and then on the other, you've got this scrappy, open-source challenger. So let's meet our two contenders.
So, in one corner, we have Sagent. This is the polished pro, the established leader. It's a closed-box system, a software-as-a-service platform that honestly feels like magic, but you have no idea how the magic trick works. And in the other corner, we have RAI. This is the open challenger. It's an internal project that's all about transparency. It's modular, which means you can look at every single piece and control exactly how it works.
All right, so the big question is, how do these two actually stack up against each other? Well, to figure that out, we're going to put them head-to-head in a 5-round showdown. We'll compare them across 5 really critical areas that, define what makes a super agent a super agent.
Okay, round 1, planning and reasoning. This is basically the AI's brainpower. How smart is it? Can it take a big, messy goal you give it and break it down into a clean, logical series of steps that it can actually follow?
So our AI's approach is super structured. It uses something called a plan graph, which you can basically think of as a detailed blueprint. The AI draws up this whole plan before it even starts, which is great because it makes the whole thing transparent. You can see the logic, and it even has built-in fallbacks for when things go wrong. Sagent, on the other hand, it's much more of a black box. It kind of intuits the plan and just adjusts as it goes. It feels incredibly seamless, almost like magic, but the downside is you have zero visibility into how it's making those decisions.
But look, having a brilliant plan is completely useless if the agent can't actually do anything, right? That brings us straight to round 2, tool execution. This is where the rubber meets the road. Can it actually use real-world digital tools to get the job done?
And honestly, this is where Sagent really starts to pull ahead. It has these deep native integrations that are just seamless. It can handle seriously complex stuff like digging deep into a website, running database queries, even deploying code all on its own, no human needed. Our AI, it's getting there, maybe about 70% of the way. It has the tools for sure, but it's just not quite hands-off enough yet for those really complicated end-to-end jobs.
All right, up next, round 3, memory and learning. This one's a big deal. For an agent to be genuinely useful, it can't have the memory of a goldfish, right? It needs to remember what it's already done, keep track of everything during a long task, and ideally, actually learn from its successes and failures.
And right away, we see that same core difference pop up again. Our AI uses a totally transparent memory system. It basically keeps a detailed log of everything it does and can look back over those logs to remember things. You can literally go in and inspect its memories. Sagent's system, you guessed it, it's a black box. It works great, we just have no earthly idea how it works. So it's that classic trade-off again, isn't it? Do you want the system you can see inside of, or the one that might be more advanced but keeps all its secrets?
Which brings us to round 4, and this is the big one, autonomy.
This is pretty much the holy grail of super agents. It's that core promise, right? The ability to give it a task, walk away, and just be confident that it's going to handle the whole thing by itself.
And on this one, well, there's really no contest. Sagent is the clear winner. It is fully autonomous. You give it a goal, and it just hums along in the background until the job is finished. Our AI, on the other hand, it can plan on its own, but it still needs you, the user, to come in and kick off each individual step. So it's just not quite that leave-it-overnight intern we were talking about. At least, not yet.
Okay, last but not least, our final round, the user interface, or UI. This is all about how does it actually feel to use this thing? Because look, you can have the most powerful engine in the world under the hood, but if it's impossible to drive, what's the point?
And Sagent has a huge head start here. It's got this super polished, really user-friendly web dashboard. It's the kind of thing anyone can just pick up and start using right away. Our AI is, well, it's still building its interface. The potential is there for it to be incredibly powerful, especially for developers. But right now, when it comes to the user experience, it's definitely playing catch-up.
Okay, so the 5 rounds are over. Where does that leave us? Let's tally up the final scorecard and see who really comes out on top in this battle of challenger versus champion.
So if you look at the scorecard, Sagent clearly takes the win on tool execution, autonomy, and the UI. Basically, all the areas that have to do with polish and getting things done in the real world. But here's the thing. It's not a total blowout. Planning and memory are a tie. And, this is super important, our AI gets a decisive win on transparency. And that really is the fundamental difference here, isn't it? Do you want control and the ability to see what's going on, or do you want a seamless black box? So, the question is, what does our open source challenger need to do to close this gap? What's the comeback plan? Well, the path forward is actually pretty straightforward. It really boils down to 3 key upgrades. Okay, job number 1. They have to get that true autonomy working with persistent background jobs. Number 2, they've got to beef up their tool integrations to match what Sagent can do, really interacting with websites and deploying code. And third, they absolutely need to build a simple visual UI that gives users that same wow factor you get from Sagent. And this quote is what really puts it all into perspective. The team behind our AI thinks they are so close. We're talking like 4 to 6 weeks of focused development away from having a system that's on Sagent's level, but with all the extra benefits of being open, transparent, and way more versatile. And, this whole thing leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these AI interns get more and more powerful and autonomous, the real competition isn't just about who wins the race to build the best product. The much, much bigger question is about the philosophy we choose. Do we go for the magic black boxes that just work? Or do we insist on building open, transparent systems that we can actually understand and control? Because honestly, the answer to that question is what's really going to shape our future with AI.